I've personally worked with over 300 service-based business owners, and the reason most of them stay stuck? One missing system. And in this video, I'll give you the blueprint. I'm going to walk you through the exact 5-part system that we use to help service-based businesses double and even triple their revenue by replacing chaos and hope marketing with a customer acquisition system that actually works. I'll share the 2 most important strategies that you need to get crystal clear on how to actually go about that. And then we'll dive into the blueprint so that you can implement this customer acquisition system for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so let's dive in so I can show you what is going on. I've seen this hundreds of times, probably dove under the hood of 300 plus businesses now to assess this exact same issue, because here's the thing. I can almost guarantee you it's not your work ethic. You're likely really good at what you do. The service providers and service-based entrepreneurs and business owners that we work with are some of the best in the world at what they do. And it's not that. It's not even what you do that's causing the issue here. It's your system, or probably really better yet, lack thereof. And so let's go ahead and dive into what the root cause of the problem is, because if you're not consistently growing month over month, seeing more and more revenue come into your business, and it's not happening predictably and you don't know how or why, chances are it's because of the system. And so we're going to break down in this video exactly what the problem is and, more importantly, what you can do about it. And I'm going to give you a blueprint. We call it the GrowthMap Model, something that I discovered after working with over 300 businesses under the hood. I'm going to give it to you absolutely free, so you'll have a blueprint, a roadmap of how to look at your customer acquisition system and where the bottlenecks might be, so you can go ahead and fix it once and for all. But it starts with this, which is how every single startup, every single business gets its start. And it's honestly, this is the best way to get your business started. And that is to focus on one single thing. And that single thing is sales. In fact, I just got off a coaching call with all of our clients talking about this and how important it is in your business. When you're getting started, if you're under $1 million a year in revenue, probably honestly really even under about 3 million, but certainly under your first million, your only focus needs to be on sales. We just need to get clients coming in the door. And when you get started, there's probably a bunch of different ways that you try and go ahead and do that. You're throwing everything that you can against the wall, right? You may start off by running some ads. You may try social media, maybe Instagram or Facebook. Maybe you try some other kind of form you're going with, like, let's say, radio might be a really good option. Most start with some kind of word of mouth, right? Or referrals, any kind of networking. You're going to go to maybe some events, do some events marketing. Again, you're just doing whatever you can right out of the gate to generate clients, to generate revenue, because sales is just a must when you're getting started in business. And what tends to happen in this case, if you're any good at what you do, you're going to get some clients. You're going to get those reviews and testimonials and feedback, and people are going to start talking in your community and referring you others. And that generates enough business to kind of keep you busy and get things off the ground. You start to introduce some systems. Maybe you hire some people. You read some books. You go to some masterminds. You start, adding in a CRM. You start adding in some tech and doing different things. And now all of a sudden, this starts to kind of get muddy. The waters get muddied here, and this startup marketing turns into something I call chaos marketing, or you've probably heard of hope marketing. And the reason why it can be chaotic is because when we have traffic, when we have sales that are coming in from all different areas, it's hard to tell once they actually land in here where it is actually coming from. And so you end up in this kind of world of chaos where you're just throwing as much against the wall as you possibly can, but unable to identify exactly what is working best, so that you can cut out everything that is not working and then focus on, like, let's say, just the main thing that is, or maybe it's SEO, and we're just going to focus in on that. But if you don't know, you're just in this zone of chaos marketing, and so many businesses stay here literally forever. They stay at that level. You can't break past that next revenue plateau. So what can we actually go ahead and do about this? Well, we need to focus on the 2 systems, the only 2 systems that you need in order to scale your growth and scale your business. And what are those 2 systems? The first, we need a system to capture attention. We need a system to capture attention. How do we take complete strangers and get them to find out about us? How do we increase our visibility in our communities and in our markets? And there's two ways that we want to do this. There's two ways we want to capture attention. We want an inbound strategy. So we need a specific strategy to make sure that we have traffic coming into our business. So this might be something like SEO, search engine optimization. This might be something like organic social media. We might be posting content to Instagram and Facebook. We need an inbound strategy, and usually this is related to some kind of media. So we're publishing media, we're publishing content. We do that on a regular and consistent basis because I think we can agree we're moving into a world where there is more and more noise. So in order to stand out, it's important that you have a media strategy, some way that you are publishing content somewhere on the internet that is helping your ideal client so that you can stay top of mind. That's part of your system for capturing attention. Then the second piece of this, you want your outbound strategy. An outbound strategy is something that you can actually control. You do some kind of outreach to your market. If you've ever heard of the phrase, it's just a numbers game, that usually is coming from someone who has an outbound strategy. So for example, if you're doing paid ads is an outbound strategy. You can control how much money you're spending every day and how many new ads you are publishing to get more traffic coming into your business. You might do cold email or cold outreach. You might do prospecting where you go to events and you're reaching out to people at events or just doing cold outreach through something like LinkedIn. Outbound is something that you can control. So you're going to want to have two different strategies in order to capture attention as part of your attention system. So we need an inbound strategy. Let's say we pick Instagram. We're going to publish content to Instagram, or maybe we're going to publish content to YouTube. And then we want an outbound strategy. So maybe we're going to run paid ads, because we're going to run paid ads because we can predictably and consistently get more traffic, more attention coming into our business that way. Now, the reason we want to do both is because that inbound strategy is something that's going to compound over time and going to help us generate more and more traffic, but usually it takes a little while to get going, whereas that outbound strategy is something that we can control. Again, it's more of a numbers game. So the first system that we need to scale is one that allows us to capture attention. The second system that we need is one that is going to convert that attention. So we need a system to convert attention. So we increase our visibility, we get in front of more people in our community and in our marketplace, and now we need to convert that attention. And we need to convert that attention into two things. First, into leads. Leads are simply people that raise their hand, that say, yes, I am interested in what you've got to offer. Tell me more. We need leads. And then we need those leads to turn into clients. Clients are the ones that end up actually paying us, right? And I know you already know all of this intuitively, but it's super important that we articulate this, that we document these systems, because there's probably, again, already things that you're doing in your business to generate sales. But if we don't actually write it down, if we don't actually build our system on purpose, what do we end up with? We end up with chaos marketing. We don't want this. We want to know when we are putting our time, our money, and our energy in. We want to know what is the return that we're getting back out. And so that's why we focus on systems. So what are the two systems that you need to scale? You need one system to capture attention, and you need one system to convert attention. When it comes to capturing attention, we want to focus on one single inbound strategy and one single outbound strategy. And with our conversion system, we want to make sure we have a clear way of creating leads from that attention and then converting those leads into sales. And after working with over 300 businesses, I've got the actual blueprint. I want to give you the blueprint of how you can do this, and you can take a look at what you're doing well right now already in your business and where there might be some areas to improve. And it's something I call the GrowthMap model. The reason being is it's literally the blueprint for growth in your business. We want to map out how do you take complete strangers over here on the left and turn them into clients that pay you cash. And then those clients turn into more clients. So those clients turn into referrals basically from other strangers, and you create this flywheel where now you can predictably grow your business on purpose. Because here's the thing, if you do not have a system in place, this number is going to haunt you, and that number is 3%. Because statistically speaking, we know, the stats prove it, the analysis, the reports all show this, that only about 3%, it's actually about 2.7%. We'll call it 3% of any traffic that comes into your world, that comes to your website, your social media, that fills out a form online, only 3% of those people are actually ready to buy right now. And that can become a really big problem because, again, if you're good at what you do, some initial sales can cover a lot of sins, can cover an inadequacy in a system where, you have people coming your way, you're good at what you do, you've got all eyes on the prize right out of the gate, you've got clients and cash that are coming in, but then you hit that roadblock, you stop growing. And the reason being is you're probably only capturing, that 3%, as well as maybe some of the people are kind of like just on the fence outside of that 3%. But there's 97% of the people that come into your world that need more time, that are not ready to buy just now. And this model, the GrowthMap model, will actually give you a system to automatically nurture, keep those people engaged, and convert more of them. And that's really what allows you to go to the next level. So what are the pieces of the GrowthMap model? There are 5 blocks that we want to take a look at that I'm going to break down for you here right now. And as I'm writing this down, I want you to think of how this applies in your business and what your current version of each one of these systems look like. Because all that a system is just a predictable way of getting something that's a predictable way of taking a stranger, turning them into a client. And there are some jobs to be done along the way before somebody becomes a client. What are those jobs? The first thing is, and we already called it out, is you need to build your attention system. What's your attention system? It's literally just, where are we getting traffic from? What's our inbound strategy? What's our outbound strategy? Are we doing Instagram and paid ads? Are we doing YouTube and SEO? What's our attention system? Where is our market already in place? I can tell you, I was working with a client, her name is Jody. This was years ago. Jody was just starting her photography business, and Jody was kind of struggling to get her first batch of clients. She saw other people, she saw her peers really easily able to kind of just in their warm market and referral networks, able to go and get their first batch of clients. And she just wasn't able to. So I sat down with Jody and said, okay, hey, let's take a look. Where is your ideal client already hanging out? If these young women who are recently engaged, that are planning their weddings, where are they most likely to be? Physically and digitally. And we decided, hey, these brides would show up at bridal fairs. But Jody was kind of resistant. She didn't want to go do a bridal fair. She said felt like it was kind of like a meat market, and she wanted to do anything else but that. And I said, well, if you could get your first couple of clients and you never had to go do another bridal fair again, but if it could at least get you started, would you be willing to do it? Because we know that your ideal client is already there. So when it comes to attention, capturing attention, we don't need to go generate attention out of thin air. The traffic already exists. Your ideal client is already hanging out somewhere. We just need to go tap in where they already are. And more than likely, they're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, they maybe are at some events. In Jody's case, they were at a bridal fair. Jody went and did that first bridal fair, got her first couple of clients, and within just a few years had done such a good job and was such a great photographer, but more than that, was really good at the experience that she provided for her clients, that she became one of the premier wedding photographers in all of Las Vegas and all of Nevada, to where she started connecting with these luxury kind of high-end wedding photographers, getting referred out to all of their celebrity clients. She even got invited to the World Series one year because one of her clients was playing, literally, he was a starter in the major league for the Chicago Cubs playing baseball, and she got invited there to go see that as one of her clients. And she just started by figuring out, where is my ideal client already hang out at these bridal fairs. She did one of those, and she was able to spin that out into a very successful business and a long career as a luxury wedding photographer. And it all started with her getting really clear on her attention system. So where are we getting traffic from? And this may change over time, but where are we going to get traffic from right now? Now, once we have that attention, that's not enough. We also need our lead gen system, because as soon as we have traffic, we need to figure out, okay, well, how can I get those people who now I've got their attention to raise their hand so I can begin some kind of sales conversation? And so your lead gen system is the literal places and reasons why someone would reach out to you. So do they come to your website and they're inquiring for they want a free quote? Do you have some kind, we've all heard of the idea of like a lead magnet. Do you have some kind of free value add, a video, a PDF, a checklist, something that they can get in exchange for their contact information? For me, if you come to my Instagram profile, if you go to @GabrielRyan on Instagram, you find me on Instagram and you DM me the word map, we can start a conversation to see if we might be able to help you grow your business. We've got some other freebies that we offer there too. So what is your lead gen system? You need to be clear on that. What are the ways that someone would actually reach out to you? And do you have a compelling reason for them to reach out to you? I was working with a software company, pretty well known in the digital marketing space, doing a few $1 million a year, had thousands of users. And at the time, they were really good actually at marketing in general, but they were totally missing the boat and didn't even realize it, because they had all of this traffic coming to their website, but a very small percentage of it was turning into clients. And so all that I did was I took a look at it and said, hey, you're missing a key component. You're missing your lead gen system. You're not giving people a reason to start a conversation and to engage unless they're actually just ready to buy already. They had a way for people to sign up for the software and get started. But if you weren't in that 3%, they had nothing else for you. So all we did was we put together a simple lead magnet. I added one of those just kind of like little sticky headers at the top of the site saying, hey, if you want this free thing, come get it here, put in your name and email. And overnight, that company started getting an extra 20 to 30 leads a day, which when you looked at how much they were paying for each and every lead with paid ads, that was the equivalent of about $90,000, $100,000 a year in ad spend. They would have had to have spent $100,000 on Facebook and Instagram in order to get the same number of leads that were already flowing right by their website. I didn't need to change anything else other than install this lead gen system. They started getting more leads. Those leads eventually turned into more clients. So we want to make sure we have the lead gen system. Next, once we hit the lead gen system, once we have somebody who actually gives us their contact information, this is where we hit a fork in the road. And this is where we come back to this 3%, because about 3% of the people that come into your world are ready to buy right now. And so for those folks, what we want to do is we want to remove friction. We actually just want to make it as easy as possible. We don't want to add any steps. We actually want to remove steps. And so the way that we do that is with something we call our new lead fast track system. We want to remove friction. So for people that are ready to roll right now, we want to remove friction. The best way that we do this is with an AI sales assistant. Her name is Ava. So we add Ava into your business. She responds within 60 seconds, usually actually within about 20 to 30 seconds, to every single new lead that comes into your business to triage and see if they are in this 3%. And if they are, we want to get them to your sales system as quickly as possible. So we just remove friction. And we found that just that one thing alone can double and triple a business. We've got a dog trainer in Middle Tennessee that went from making $20,000 a month to $64,000 a month in less than 90 days with just this AI sales assistant, because now instead of relying on him and his staff to get back to new leads that were coming in, sometimes they would get back to them right away. Sometimes they would have to wait 5-10 minutes. Sometimes they might wait an hour or two. And on the weekends, it might even be till the next day. They were losing money. But as soon as we installed this new lead fast track system, we're getting back to every single lead very, very quickly within 20 to 30 seconds. And the people that are ready to buy, we weren't missing any of them now. But the majority of people are not ready to buy right away. And what we want to do is we need a system, right? We need another system for those folks so that we keep them engaged until they are ready to buy. And we can certainly speed up that process. And we do that with the nurture system. So again, once we hit the lead gen system, there's kind of a fork in the path, and we either triage and realize, hey, this is a hot lead, this is someone ready to buy right now, let's move them through the new lead fast track and get them to buy right away, versus, oh, they might need just a couple of questions answered, or they need a little bit more time, we drop them into the nurture system. And the nurture system has one job and one job only, and that is to keep you top of mind, in the mind of the prospect, so that when the pain that they're dealing with is big enough, the problem that they're dealing with is big enough, or they're finally ready to move forward, you are their go-to. You are top of mind. You're the one that they make the choice to go with. That's all the nurture system needs to do. And in both of these scenarios, with the new lead fast track and the nurture system, I'll give you a little bonus here. We're just speaking to beliefs. All that we're doing here with this system is we're speaking to beliefs. The things that would come up in a sales conversation, reasons why, objections, why someone might not buy, we're speaking to that with content, with messaging, and with our automations, and even just with our outreach in these systems. What's our system for overcoming those objections before they even come up? Because I can tell you the best time to do that, the best time to overcome an objection is before it's even ever presented. So they hit the lead gen system, they either are ready to buy right away, and so they go through the new lead fast track, or they drop into your nurture system so that we don't lose them, because most businesses, especially if you're dealing with chaos marketing, you get a bunch of leads in. If they buy right away, great, but if they don't, they leak out the middle of your funnel, they leak out your business, and we call that leaky bucket syndrome. We don't want to lose anybody. You did all of this work to generate that attention, to capture the lead, to begin that conversation. We don't want to lose that opportunity. That's what the nurture system does. It's that safety net. And then finally, we have the sales system, which might be better called like your enrollment system. What does it actually look like for someone to start working with you? And what's the mechanism that you do that on? Do you do that on a sales call, on a Zoom or Google Meet call? Do you do that in person? Is there some kind of application process? But what is your sales system? And the thing is, once you have this model, once you have your customer acquisition system, and that's what we're talking about here. The GrowthMap model is a way of building out your customer acquisition system, which all that is a way that you take strangers and turn them into clients and have those clients turn into more clients. Your customer acquisition system, when all is said and done, is the combination of how you capture and convert that attention. And so all you need are these 5 pieces into your business. So if you want help with that, we can certainly help you. Now, you could take a look at this blueprint here. You could go through all this work on your own. But would you like our help? Because this is what we do. We eat, breathe this stuff all day, every day, and would love to see if you would be a fit to work with us. So here's the thing. If you want your own GrowthMap blueprint, here's the next step. Just book a free call with my team, and we'll walk through your business and build the model together. You'll leave that call with a clear plan, and if it makes sense, we'll show you what it looks like to work together. Sound like a plan? All right, go ahead and book a call. Let's chat, and shoot, let's install a system that you can count on.